sometime.
All those people ain't gonna join.
It's a 5-minute buffer time.
I don't know. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is Friday.
What is up, people of Earth?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hope everybody watching is doing fantastic. Another day of success in the books.
Yep. Oscar said he's going to be on in a minute.
Oh, sweet. I love Fridays.
Mine's coming. I know. It's like every week.
Okay. Welcome, everybody who's on. We have some good news. We have some exciting news. And good morning, Facebook user. Happy Friday. Let me see. Let me go on.
Blast. Yes.
Probably coming in a multifamily group. Let me see.
Who likes chia pudding?
Oh, that was Tap that said good morning. And chia pudding is good. I like it.
I made peanut butter jelly chia pudding.
I'm eating Reese's Puff cereal.
That's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. Did you get donuts? Should we get donuts today?
Oh my gosh, that's
I was like, some donuts sound good.
No.
I have like a wooden ring stacker, like a little baby toy. And they're like, they all fit on a peg. And she takes them off and she pretends they're donuts.
And for those of you guys that don't know what a kolache is, they're all missing out. They're all missing out.
He didn't even explain it. He's just like, you don't know.
On Instagram, go look it up. Go to Texas. Go to a donut shop in Texas and go get yourself a kolache.
Don't go to a donut shop in Arizona. They suck. It's disappointing.
So I got a story.
Let's hear it.
I'm so excited.
We had. I'm gonna wait for the other stuff with Oscar, right? But we had a meetup out here in Dallas, and we had somewhat of a mentor person come out. Her name is Amy Majori, and she teaches people how to raise private capital. This is not a big, like, I'm not pitching her deal, but what happened was something clicked with me, and I said, I'm doing this thing. She's throwing an event out in California, and I said, I'm doing it. It was Monday, and it was like probably 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. And something just clicked. I said, I'm signing up right now. And so I went on there, and I'm like, I want to do the VIP because I get to like have lunch with the people who are presenting. There's a bunch of people who are teaching how to syndicate, how to raise money, how to use social media, blah, 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 blah. It's sold out. I was like, and her early bird special ended Sunday night.
And this was Monday night.
And this was the next day. I was like, oh, I am an idiot. Dang it. I messaged her on Instagram. And I said, hey, Amy, I really want to get VIP. Can you help me get a VIP ticket? And she's like, let me see what I can do. I'm going to talk to all the VIP people tomorrow. Just get like a regular admission, and then we'll figure it out. So I'm like, I made a post on my Instagram, and I sat there and I was like, should I wait? Should I wait to figure this out? Should I, like, what if something comes up? What if I can't go? What if I can't go to this?
What if he finds someone else with a VIP ticket?
What if I find somebody else? Yeah.
For less.
Yeah. And I was like scrolling. And I'm gonna find this photo. Hold on, I got like a ton of photos now, but because we did that tour, it's like, yeah. I'm like, I really want to tell this story. This photo came up in my Instagram feed. I want to show you so bad. Hold on. It's right here. It's right here.
Stop overthinking and start over executing.
I love it.
Damn. Did everything. Signed up for the not the mentorship, but the 3-day event.
Yeah.
Booked my flight and booked my hotel. I was like so pumped. I was up till almost 2:00 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and Oscar was coming the next morning to pick me up. But I was so amped, like, oh, this is good. And I was gonna book my hotel, and it was like, pay $100 more and you can cancel, but you can cancel before whatever, October 10th. I don't know.
Like you have the option to cancel in case anything comes up.
Yep. Thank you for
Context.
Yeah, being my yeah. Anyways, I said, screw it. I'm gonna commit. Like, I'm gonna buy the one that's non-refundable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to this thing because there's so much gray area. Like, oh, how do I ask for money? How do I do this? How do I do that? I don't want to mess up. How do I get better? And man, just like all these signs are saying, commit, man, commit to what you want. And so I did. And it was some money. Like, I don't know about you all, but we're not rolling around like McScrooge right now. So like the next morning, I got 2 clients for our reply. Just, they came in.
Paid for it.
Like exactly the amount that I spent is exactly the amount that I got in clients.
Hell yeah, God's aligning it.
That means you got to spend more to get more back.
It's like, take me out shopping.
We were just talking about this earlier today too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think that's amazing.
That's so exciting. I can't wait to hear about it.
Isn't it freaking cool how you just get rewarded?
Yeah. It was there's work involved. It's not like it just fell into my bank account. Just like, I got to do some work, but like, man, that's amazing. And what that event I'm going to be able to bring back to this team and teach everybody what they say, right? Teach everybody those tools, I guess you could say. So I'm so excited. I'm like freaking pumped.
I love that. That's exciting.
Then wait a minute. We stopped in.
There's more.
But wait, there's more. We stopped in Nashville or Memphis. We stopped in Memphis to get some barbecue. Right. I got a bologna sandwich. And
a bologna sandwich at a barbecue place.
A fried bologna.
Fried bologna. Like, I've been talking about fried bologna for the past like 2 weeks for some reason.
I've never had that.
Me either.
It's delicious. Anyways.
It's 80s babies.
Yeah. Amy messaged me and said, hey, I found you a VIP ticket. Just pay this other girl what she paid and I'll lock you in. And so I did that. So I got VIP. I got general admission. I got VIP out in freaking California.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna hit me. High five. Okay.
I didn't know what was happening.
That's funny.
So pumped.
That's so exciting.
There's a multifamily event coming up here in Dallas at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2 weeks. So we're gonna have a lot of people out there. Probably gonna wait for Oscar to talk about the other stuff that's going on at the end of the month. But KJ, Joseph, Oscar, Annie have a big thing going on at the end of the month. It's going to be freaking amazing.
He just got back from his trip to Tennessee, so he's like still on a high from.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
He's like rolling on this energy. Gotta hit Rendezvous in Memphis for the best ribs on the planet. Ooh, dang. We gotta go back.
Yeah, so Joseph and Ione and Oscar, we're all going to a mastermind in 2 weeks in Tennessee. So I'm excited for that. We're going to be able to pitch deals to some big players in a room and network. And so I think one of my main goals going to that event is raising capital. Because I was telling Joseph, I was like, okay, we have all these deals coming in. And with the way that the market's shifting and what we're hearing from sellers is that, like, if they want their price, they're going to have to sell or finance. Otherwise, they're going to have to take a hit because of the interest rates. So that means the chances of them wanting to sell or finance are a lot more likely, meaning we need to start raising capital for these down payments and anything else that we need. And I was like,
for CapEx, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, we need to I want to have people on speed dial ready to go. That way, like, we're not sitting here waiting like, hey, we've got all these deals. So I think that's going to be my number one goal going into this mastermind is like, do you got money? Do you got money?
Who's got money? Sign me in here.
I was like, who's trying to get a return on their money? Let me know.
What we do need to do is make sure we get our business cards set up before
Oh, yeah.
to do that. Maybe I'll do that on Sunday. I'll sit down and make sure those get hammered out.
How do you guys do business cards? Like paper?
No,
The
it's
one
on
the
that
new
CRM. It's on our CRM.
Yeah.
I just need to go in there and create one for each of us individually and put our business name and logo. We need to come up with a solid logo though.
Sweet.
I do that. So I think I'm gonna sit down on Sunday evening and then take care of that. So it's really the only time I got.
Yeah.
By the time we get there to the new house next week, we won't have internet. So we got to make sure we get that set up as fast as possible. But I don't want to risk it not coming in time or them hooking up whatever they got to hook up.
I
I have
totally
my
forgot.
own router, so I should be able to just call and say, "Hey, turn on my service," and then plug it in. But plan for the worst, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Are you guys driving or flying to Tennessee?
I think we're gonna drive. It's a 12-hour drive, so maybe we'll just try and ride with Oscar and Ione. They get the good gas mileage, but we'll see. I know that's a lot of luggage and people in a small car, so we'll find out. Either way, we're gonna be there because my boy Tap G is cooking, so we're gonna be there. We're gonna be
exciting.
Yeah, I guess the drive home will be a test for me on how long I can handle being in the car, though. Because they said I need to be taking lots of breaks. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, so if she can't make that, then maybe we'll have to just strap her to the roof so she doesn't have to be sat down. She can be laying down.
Oh my god. But I'm excited because I want to drive through Arkansas and Tennessee. I want to see it. It's so beautiful out there. I think it'd be a fun road trip to listen to podcasts and just see the scenery. I'm excited.
Yeah. Now we got to figure out what to do with the dogs.
I know. We need to find a babysitter.
You'll be near your family then, yeah?
But can't take it to her house. Can't take them to her parents' house because they have a dog that our dogs get into fights with. So that's a no. Can't take it to my dad's house because my brother and sister moved in and they have a cat and a miniature dog. So the cat would get destroyed. Then we got a bunch of friends, but all the friends are going to be an hour and a half away. I think we got maybe 2 people, but one has a baby. And so I don't really know.
What's that website?
If they want to make a drive out there.
Oh, we use Rover.
Rover.
It's an app, and it's just like finding a babysitter for your dog.
Yeah.
And it's either daily, boarding or like daily, like drop them off for the day and pick them up. But we used to like board them at this lady's house that she would just take care of dogs. That's all she did. And, you know, they charge you per day, whatever.
You get to like interview them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we actually brought our dog over there and like did a test run and see what it was going to be like. And she was great. She watched him for years.
Yep.
Every trip we took, she watched him for years. And he knew exactly. He's like, oh yeah, I get to
I know
go.
what's happening.
I get to go screw around at this lady's house.
All her dogs.
Yeah, they had a blast. Her dog and our dog had a blast together.
That's funny. I do have something I want to share.
Yeah.
You guys, we have a broker that is continuously following up with us, asking when are you going to put in an offer. I think that says a lot about what this market is doing now, what the sellers are doing now. I mean, the last time we talked, I think we offered 3.6. He came back at 3.9 and we haven't sent another offer. He called me and Oscar, and then it took me a few days to get back to him because I'm like, we're working on another deal, the Tennessee one. And I'm like, well, shoot, like these are all falling into place. I'm like, I'm not ready. We need to get ready. And so I called him to get back in touch with him, and he's like, I think the seller will go down to 3.8. So that's already 100,000 less than what they came back at without me having to say a word. And he's like, honestly, he's like, I think he would even take 25,000 off of that. So he lowered himself.
50 or 25 or 50?
No, 50,000.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, my bad.
He said he'll take 3.75.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, like we could have made the numbers work at 3.9 and they lowered themselves just because I guess you could say we're doing the pullback, not purposely, but like we're trying to make sure we have well, we're making sure we have all our ducks in a row first before, because once we get an accepted LOI and go under contract, we need to have earnest money ready to go and be ready to go through due diligence. So that's why we were making sure we have partners lined up to help us with the GC, making sure we have a key principal and stuff like that. So that's what's holding us up on sending that LOI. So it was just really exciting to hear that it doesn't seem like there's any other offers. He's already lowered the price and he's like, when are you going to put an offer in? And so I was just like, you guys, like, this is an opportunity. It's really exciting that like brokers are the ones calling us instead of us calling them and having to compete with other offers. So I definitely think now is the time to do multifamily. Like there's lots of good opportunity out there. This one would put a good amount under our belt, and I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, though, there are people or brokers or even sellers out there that still think that this is their market. They still think this is 2021, right? So I'm talking about the other one, the 71 unit, right? So we put in a counter offer. They were wanting 8.4. We came in at 7.6, and then we what, like a week and a half, we countered again at 7.9, and right, 7.9, or was it 8.1? I don't remember what it was. Something like that. I think maybe even 8. I think it was just 8.
Yeah.
And then they countered back with their 8.25 that they originally did, but raised all the terms. They asked for double the amount of earnest money. What else did they ask for? They asked for
shorter amount for inspection period.
Shorter inspection period. They got on their high horse, I guess.
we laughed at it.
We laughed at them, yeah.
And they said if you want to compete with our other buyer, have everything submitted and contract signed by Friday. And I was like, I'm gonna call them on their bluff. I bet you they don't have another buyer, and I bet you they're trying to big dog us and make us come meet them at their terms. And I was like, okay, it's Friday. Let's see what happens on Monday. Let's see what happens on Monday, because Joseph and I were like, you know what? Our next LOI is going to be less than what we just
We're
offered.
gonna reduce our terms. We're gonna take it less than the very first one now.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
I was like, you want to play games? I was like, we could play games. I was like, you should have took our offer. Oh, man.
All right.
I would love to know
me too.
that they were bluffing. Oh my gosh, that would like make my day, because these brokers, like, I feel like sometimes, well, it's not a broker we're working with, it's the listing broker, and I feel like they try to bully you. Like the ones that are on the seller side, sometimes they try to bully you or put pressure on you and make you think certain things. So that way, like, oh, let me put an offer in at this, or let me do this. It's like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not putting hard money on day one.
No.
We're not doing a short inspection period. That makes me think you have something to hide.
Yeah, didn't they say like a 15-day inspection period?
What is this, single family?
I know. I was like, is it single family? What do you expect a 71 unit on 14-day inspection period? Kiss my butt.
Wow.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it kind of made me laugh. I was like, okay, when you need a buyer, we're gonna do it on our terms and our price now.
Now it's a seller finance deal. If you want this price, it's all seller finance.
Yeah. We'll have an assumable loan. We already looked at it that way.
Okay.
We have an assumable loan, and if we try, unless they gave us like freaking fantastic terms, which after dealing with them, I don't think they will, and it wouldn't work. We would be underwater.
Let's wait till Monday and see what kind of fantastic.
I'm so excited.
We're gonna drop our terms too. We're gonna go like 90-day due diligence. No, just kidding.
I know, because we were coming in 30-day inspection period, 30-day close to be a little competitive.
We even raised our EMD because they asked for a specific amount. Because normally we do 1%, and they asked for a specific amount. I think it was a little over 2% EMD, and we were like, you know what, fine, we'll do that. We can do that, no problem. And so we raised it in our most recent LOI, and then they doubled it on their counter, plus all the other stuff. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So this is what we're dealing with in the market right now. And I just know the way things are going, and that not everybody performs. So even if they do have a buyer, let's see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
What we're trying to say, guys, is that we're already in a new market. We're already in a buyer's market. So be prepared. Blessings are coming.
Oh yeah. I see a Facebook user asked how many properties, multifamily properties we have. We only have one right now, a 30 unit in Corpus Christi. But we have one that we want. We're waiting for Oscar to come on to talk about. The one they went and saw in Tennessee, add another 40 to our belt. And then we are looking at 86 unit too that we're looking to go under contract. So that would put us at 156 when these things go through, which is super exciting. It's crazy. Yeah. It's my boy.
And then those other guys stop tripping with the 71. That would put us at 227.
Yeah,
we got that one too, but that one's a long shot just because of how they're acting right now.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
It's always the good ones that like don't come easy and take a long time. So, do we know what time Oscar's hopping on?
We don't. He just said he'll be on shortly. I know he's in a meeting right now.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah, Zach. The goal is 1,000 units by next July. Do you guys think we can hit it? It's funny because when we set that goal, I was scared and like I was having doubt and fear, and I was like, man, like, is that even possible? Can we really do this? I was like it's just crazy to think about. And then now here we are. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we have this one ready to go under contract and another one ready to go under contract, and we're looking at another one that we're still in negotiations with, not including all the other ones that I still need to send out LOIs for today. So I'm like, I'm like, are we even prepared to handle all of this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we asked for it, which is good. This is going to teach us by taking action and just getting thrown into it. Like, this is going to be the best way to learn. It's just so, like, when I called Oscar, I think Myra was on there too, and Ione and Joseph, I was just like, someone pinched me. Like, I can't stop smiling. Like, is this real? Like, it is just crazy to see, like, our hard work starting to come to fruition. And, like we've been working so hard for so long. It's like, finally, we're getting somewhere. And it's just, like, the first time I feel, like, accomplished, almost. Like, I don't know. It's a cool feeling, and it's exciting.
It's a cool feeling. It is a cool feeling.
I think the way that the market is shifting, because interest rates are going up again, right?
Yep.
Interest rates are going up again, and it's going to kill a lot of deals. Because let's say we go under contract with a loan, like a commercial loan, and in the middle of it, they sell it off to another lender. They do stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That interest rate can change, and it can kill deals. And I think that as we're making these LOIs today, we should throw in seller finance. We have a cash offer, or like a conventional offer, and we have a seller finance offer, which would be a higher price. And Oscar and I were driving back from Tennessee yesterday, and we listened to a few things about how the market's going. Like, let me see. It's like Idaho is taking a hard turn down. Austin, Texas is taking a hard turn down. It's not crashing. It's like a severe correction. And sorry. And it's like, why not? Because the lower units between 30 and 150 units, they understand creative finance. The broker may not, right? But the seller will probably understand that. They probably have bought already. And so anything in that range between 30 and 150, we're going to put it on that LOI. This is our seller finance offer. And like the one we have in Tennessee, it's super creative. Like, it's one of the most creative deals that we've ever done. And it's 40 units. Cool. I'm like, this is just, it's coming.
Guys, we're going to have a 40 unit under contract in like a week.
ASAP. And why is our first 2 deals creative? Isn't that exciting?
I just think like that should be the running theme. Like, we have all of our deals creative.
Seller finance.
Okay, coffee cups.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's the best way to go, honestly. Like, you get to create your own terms. You don't have to deal with lending and going to the bank and getting approved, because like sometimes you could be almost to the finish line and then something comes up with the lender. Yep. But if your seller financing is like done, just gotta get through the gotta get through the due diligence. I want to pull this comment up real quick from Zach. There's something else coming soon that may cause some stressed sellers as well, which would help something move. You guys, today at 12 p.m. Central, 10 a.m. PST, so about an hour and a half, Carolyn and I are going to be talking about how we find brokers, how we find deals, how we go through rebuttals with them and stuff like that. And then we're having Zach McQueen and his team come on. Zach is a killer broker in this market, and him and his team are going to come on and give us their side and perspective of like talking to brokers, what they're looking for, what, I have a list of questions I need to send him that people have asked. So you guys should really join in. I think today will be really awesome to get feedback and hear a different perspective of what he's dealing with and what he sees on his side. So
yes,
I definitely think that would be great for you guys to join today.
I'm excited to see like what him and his team have as their perspective versus like how we've been doing things. I'm sure we're going to learn some new things and like to do, what not to do. So it'll be really informative. Thank you. Thank you, Zach.
I know. I'm so excited for that today.
Cool. I feel like we had a question in here somewhere.
Yeah, I see one right here.
Okay, good. I'm looking to get my first 16 or 20 unit, but have only been looking on LoopNet on market, and certain ones I like are subject to offer, and I have no clue how to go about figuring out an offer price. I've tried asking if sellers open seller finance. Most say no. Ooh.
I think that comes down to building a relationship with the broker, because brokers know the asking price. They know the whisper price. So I think getting to know the broker and building a relationship with them, and then letting them know you're serious and kind of finding out, hey, what's going on with this property? Why is the seller wanting to sell? How many offers have you had on it? Has it already gone under contract and someone pulled out on this? Like, how long has this person been trying to sell? And kind of dig deeper into what's going on.
Ask the tough questions. Definitely.
Yeah, they wanted to sell. Oh, sorry, just go ahead.
You're good. I was just gonna say, go watch some of those underwriting Zooms too, and that will help you figure out where you need to be at ballpark. Go ahead,
Right. Why is the seller selling? Are they wanting to 1031 into something else? Are they just retiring? Ask some of those questions, like what's going on with the seller, right? Like they said, and then use that information to construct the offer. If they want a 1031, what if they can't find anything 1031? If they want to just retire, they're going to lose a lot of money to Uncle Sam, right? Versus seller financing it at 16 or 20 unit, you can kind of hedge against what am I saying?
Capital gains.
Gains and depreciation easier than if you just sold it outright. I got to take a call really quick.
Sure, no problem. Our dude just left the building.
Sorry.
No.
But no, I agree. I think you guys can, I think by building a relationship and then finding out what the seller wants. I think it's just like single family. Like, you want to know their pain or their motivation, and you want to come in and solve that problem. So if you understand what it is that they're looking for and need, then you can come in with a strategy to then solve their problem and get what they want. So I think it's very similar in that sense.
I think we're gonna start seeing so much more of it. Like, I mean, we're getting more experience with it, but like the way the market's shifting and everything, like we're just gonna have an influx of deals coming to us that are gonna be way more open and receptive to seller finance. It's really exciting.
I think at this point we can start getting picky as to which ones we want to take down now versus us trying to
Absolutely.
As we should.
Like, wouldn't that be?
I've always been picky.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, but like, wouldn't that be so cool to look back in a year and say all these deals were done creatively? Like, wouldn't that be bomb?
That's our niche.
1,000 doors creatively. What? Unheard.
That's awesome.
Like, we didn't syndicate. Well, who knows? Who knows? We'll probably get into that. But like, I was just telling Myron this morning, it says it feels way more, I don't know, I don't like to say the word secure, but it feels just way more doable and accessible when you are working with a seller who's like, okay, let's do seller finance, like the Tennessee dude, and like super creative deal. And in the near future, we'll be able to break that down more for you guys. But just like having that relationship with the seller, it's all thanks to Marcel bringing that in with us and everything. So Marcel's a badass for that too. But like having that ability to have the relationship with the seller and like work through the seller finance deal, and it just feels way more like, okay, this is achievable. Like we can actually do this. Going through a broker at times, it feels like it's a little like daunting even still, just like working through all the hoops that they make you jump through and everything. We have our own favorite brokers and everything that we work with, but still like there's a huge difference in that to me anyway.
Yesterday I was telling Joseph, I was like, I feel like multifamily is so much easier than single family. I was like, why is it we still don't own a single family house, but now we own 30 multifamily units and we're about to go under contract on another 40 and possibly another 86. I'm like, I don't know. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, don't forget that seller. He has another 70 units that he said after
I
this,
forgot.
he's like, I'll sell those to you guys too, same terms.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, same terms. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's
He
like,
said it like in passing, so I'm sure we still got to kind of work him a little bit on
You
it.
gotta
But
butter him up. That dude's
yeah,
badass. I love him.
he's cool. But it's just like the amount of work that I put in for single family is almost the same as multifamily, and the reward is so much bigger. And I'm just like, I think also because I enjoy doing this. Like I am excited. Like Carlos was saying yesterday on the mentorship that like it's exciting, like it's fun, like it's challenging, but it's fun. And like the money you get to make, the people you get to help, the things you get to do, like it's very exciting versus like, in my opinion, I mean, if you like single family, I'm not knocking you, but for me personally, it's not exciting to me. I don't want to go fix and flip one house. Like I want to own a huge apartment building and like make millions of dollars off of one deal. So it's just crazy.
It's such a long game. I mean, like it's super exciting and like overnight we have 30 units. Like what? It
That was
doesn't.
not overnight though.
You know what I mean, though.
No,
It is
I
not
know.
overnight, but like once it's done and you have like 30 units, like we spent the same amount of time as it would have taken. Like the amount of time it takes to get your first deal, let's say, and then the amount of time it took to do a multifamily deal.
Almost
And
the
then
same.
either you get one home or you get 30 doors, and it's like it's wild. And then you just kind of start building that snowball momentum, and I don't know, it doesn't feel so scary. And then we're like, oh, a $2 million deal or a $3 million deal. Like, okay, this is like little fish.
Well,
kind of
Joseph
thing.
made a good comment the other day. He was like, the funny thing is like as we do more, it's just gonna get easier and easier and easier. So then we're just gonna like it's not gonna stop. So that's exciting. And I saw in here someone said, are the units you have local to you or in other states self-managed, or do they have a management in place? Do you want to answer this, Bam?
yes. So the ones that we have and are about to have, they're not necessarily local to us, especially to me and KJ. Right now we're in Arizona. We're about to move back to Texas, so it'll be closer. 30 units are in Corpus Christi, so that would be 6 hours away from KJ and I, maybe 7 actually. I don't know how far away it is from Dallas, but it's still pretty far, right? I think it's what, like 9 hours, 10 hours, something like that. Texas is so big, right? It's huge. Now the 40 units are actually in Tennessee, so that's not in the same state at all. But the reason we're doing that one, actually both of them, is because we have boots on the ground partners that are there local to the property to where we don't have to actually be there all the time. We have someone that is there that their job is to be there at the property if something is needed. That's pretty much their main position in the deal. The Tennessee one's a little bit different. It's just he's doing a lot more than that. Absolutely, he's doing a lot more than that. But that's a straight up seller finance deal, so it's a JV deal, right? but it's very cool. It's very fascinating that we're able to do that and have partners with people that we trust all in different states. And self-managed, or do they have management in place? Yeah, we are not going to self-manage anything. We're going to hire a management company for everything. Yeah, we're not in the business to manage the property. We're in the business to own the property and collect the equity and the cash flow. And we want to be owners. We want to be managers.
Ooh, well said. And you guys, if y'all are in different states and you have deals, this is a great way for you to partner with us. Bring us a deal in a different state and you can be boots on the ground for us. That's what we're doing in the Tennessee. So that's an opportunity if you guys want to do a deal with us. Or in Texas, we love Texas. So we'll do Texas all day long.
And Florida.
Yeah, Florida too.
I like Florida.
Florida's freaking expensive, but if it's seller finance, it's a whole nother ballgame.
Exactly. And if you get something out there, oh, you just hold on to it forever. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. I did see in the comments earlier, I think it was Scotty that said it. He's like, I'm working on something right now in Alabama for you guys. So there you go.
Yeah.
Taking massive action. This dude didn't even know how to do multifamily 2-3 months ago. Now he's over here doing his own deal.
That's amazing. Yes, sir. All right. What else we got? Karina asked, have you created a walkthrough form? Also a form for closing. Walkthrough form would be like a checklist. Is that what I'm assuming what you're referring to?
It sounds like.
That would be really cool. We could do that. We could totally put together like a little PDF form of just like hot items that you need to go over when you go through a walkthrough, and like a question and walkthrough checklist combined into one. I think that'd be really awesome. Good idea. Also, a form for closing. I don't really know what that means.
I know we have a due diligence form. So during the due diligence, these are the items to ask for. These are the things to check. These are the things that you need to make sure you get tested and like have your proper inspections by the proper people. Carlos actually gave us that form 2 weeks ago, I think. A week ago, something like that. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Last Thursday. No, 1 week ago. That's what it was. He gave it to us last week. So we do have that due diligence form. And then for closing, I mean, all you're really needing to do in closing, you already did all the work doing your due diligence. Now for closing, you're just getting the money in place. So for closing, your biggest thing is to go and raise the capital, get the money. That's what you got to do.
Sweet. Hold on one second. We have another question there. Mine's clicking around on my computer.
Good morning. How would you put together an offer for doing seller finance? Well, I'll tell you what the brokers always say, and then I'll tell you what we tell them. They always tell us, hey, that sounds good. Yeah, I think they'd be open to that. Why don't you go ahead and put your terms together in an LOI and send it over? Right? How many times have you guys heard that?
Every single time.
Every single time. Yeah. So what we tell them is, yeah, we can absolutely do that. But to be honest with you, you're not going to like our terms. We would much rather hop on the phone or a Zoom call with the seller and you, so that way we can figure out what works best for everyone. Because if we just submit an LOI with our terms, it's just going to be heavy favored to us, and they're not going to like that. Because why would I offer something that, you know, makes no sense for us, but makes sense for the seller, right? I'm going to offer something that makes sense for me. So let's get on the phone and avoid all that, and let's just talk about it, see where we need to be at. And it usually works. They're like, yeah, you know, that's actually a good idea. And we always try and go for the Zoom. It's harder to say no to your face.
Boom. I love that.
Love seller finance Zoom calls.
Our favorite. We love
Seller finance, anything and everything. Look at this sleepy head.
What's up, everyone?
I'm just kidding. Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
We're doing good. We missed you.
Thanks, guys. We missed you too. Myron, did you talk about Tennessee?
No, we're waiting for you guys to both be on here.
Ooh, saving the
We want
best.
a little banter. Yeah, the best for last.
Nice.
Before we get into that, I want to post our Slack
channel. I'm his echo, whether he likes it or not.
I got some fans in the chat, dude.
I'd like for everybody, I know we have a couple people watching. I'd like for everybody to join our Slack. We worked hard to kind of construct that thing and organize it in a way. And we want to do some cool things in there next week or over this weekend and next week. So jump in there and see what we got planned. Cool.
It's going to be we're working and building it out because a lot of you have been in the Facebook group chat with us for the multifamily Facebook group. So having a Slack channel, as you probably know, is like way more organized, and we'll have topics and discussions and like be able to like read through threads and questions and everything much more easily than scrolling through a big Facebook chat all day long. So yeah, hop on there and join.
Hey, Myron, can you also post that link in the Facebook group?
Yes.
Yeah. Just because it's only on YouTube right here, and that way, see, look, someone.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, we keep forgetting we're only on YouTube.
I know. I think eventually we're gonna switch over from this to a podcast. I think that'd be cool, or maybe just go straight on YouTube.
You can do this on a podcast.
Yeah.
This is a podcast.
Oh, and then you just stream it to your podcast.
Well, like you take the audio from this, and then it's a podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that'd be cool.
I'm not super tech heavy. I look like it.
Let's get the deets, Oscar.
I know. Super excited to debrief everyone here. I mean, you guys know what happened, but I want to give the audience the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we went to Tennessee, and Myron and I, we drove to Tennessee. Okay. So this wasn't like it was a long drive. So, when we got there, we were just like, man, we can't wait to meet Marcel. We can't wait to meet the seller. We can't wait to meet the brokers. We were excited. We were pumped throughout the entire time. And we were having, on the ride there, guys, we were having meetings with you guys, right? We were having calls, like Myron was taking calls. I was taking calls. You know, we were still working. We were underwriting with Ione, with Joseph. You know, we were just making sure that things still made sense. We were like, let's check the numbers like 2-3 more times before we get here to make sure that this is the deal that we're looking at. Because it was all becoming surreal. Like, it was like, gosh, this is, dang, guys, like 40 more units, right? Like, come on, let's get it done. And so Myron and I, we made it a mission that before we left, we said, we're coming home with a contract. We are coming home with a contract. And that was our mission. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no like, what if this happens? What if that happens? Nothing. We were just set on a mission. Let's go. We'll be back. We're going to go hunt the prey, and we're coming back home with the, with the prey. Right. And so we went out there, and we stayed at a hotel the night before. And then early morning, we got up, ate breakfast, and we met Marcel. Guys, Marcel is freaking amazing. He is the man. Like, this guy did he did our accommodations for us. So we had a hotel planned right before. We didn't have to do anything. We just showed up, we checked in, and he had us covered, man. His hospitality, amazing guy. Shout out to Marcel. We love this guy. Shout out to Marcel. If you're watching, Marcel, thank you so much. So we meet Marcel, and then he's telling us about the property. He's telling us about the location. He's telling us about Knoxville, Tennessee. You know, he tells us about himself. Man, we hit it off immediately. Like, it was like a long lost brother in Tennessee. This guy's amazing. And then we start going towards the property early in the morning to go meet with the brokers and the seller at 9 a.m. We go over there and we meet the seller in person. And guys, we thought the seller was going to be a little bit older than what he really is. The dude's like in his 50s, but on the phone, he sounded a little bit older, and he looks a lot younger than he is. So immediately we're like, who's the seller? And we saw the guy come out. I was like, that can't be the seller. And it was him. It was the guy. He was the seller. And then the two brokers were there too, freaking giants. Like, they're huge, man. The two brokers are giants. And And then we see the property management company there too. So there's two of them. There's the maintenance person, and then there's the property manager. So they're both there walking the property with us. Well, we start walking the property and we start noticing that, yeah, it's a class C, you know, it looks like a class C, but when we start looking inside the units, like the units don't look bad at all. Like they were showing us one that they were turning over. That's the first one we started. And they showed us that the unit looked pretty good for what they were spending. We were asking, how much are you spending to fix this up? What does it look like? You know, he's like, oh, I'm just finishing it out because it's already accounted for. Somebody already wants this unit. And then we asked him, what's the occupancy rate? He goes, I'm 100% booked. Like it's 100% occupied. And we're like, damn, okay. And you know, we're looking at the town and we're coming from Knoxville. And this is you know, the town that it was like north of Knoxville. And we're like, man, it's a small town, but it's 100% occupied. And we thought that was so powerful because there are other properties around that area, but it's all occupied. And so we were like, man, that's amazing. Like this is so much better than what we thought. And then we start looking around and we start seeing all the tenant base and we're talking to tenants and we're seeing opportunity, guys. We're seeing opportunity left and right. It was incredible because everything we saw, we asked the seller, we're like, hey, you know, do you do this? Do you do that? Do you implement this? Do you have this in place? And, you know, it's to the point where he's managed this property for a very long time. He knows everyone at the apartment complex by name. Like this guy knows everyone by name, and he collects rent from them. And he you know, he's very hands-on, very, very hands-on. So he's very involved in his property. And so when I was asking him, you know, these questions, he knew the answer, but at the same time, he was like, man, I'm tired of dealing with this. Like that's why I'm wanting to sell. He's like, I just want out. Like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with roofs falling over. I don't want to deal with tenants being, you know, this and that. And so he's like, he's done. He's mentally done. Right. And so the opportunity for someone like us to come in was just, man, we just kept seeing opportunities. Guys, you should have seen, if you were there, Joseph, or if you were there, KJ or Carolyn, or even Ione, like y'all would see the opportunity that this property has. Yeah.
That's exciting.
I get the call and it's just like, man, this is better than we expected. And I was expecting, you know, it to be like decent, but not great. So
like Longview.
Yeah, exactly.
We were expecting it to be exactly like East Texas, right? We were like, okay, well, you know, maybe there's like $1 million in plumbing on this one too. No, but as a matter of fact, it was a complete opposite. It was like, we asked them too, like point blank, what's your number one maintenance problem? He goes, probably like maybe here and there AC units that come in, you know, come out or break down, or maybe like the tub or something like that, but nothing major. And we're like, okay, cool. How's the plumbing? Right? How's the plumbing? and he goes, no, nothing wrong with it, you know. And we had the maintenance guy there from the property management company to verify that there wasn't anything wrong with the plumbing. And so while I was talking to the seller, while Myron and I were talking to the seller and going into these units, Marcel was in the back talking to the brokers, and he was talking to the property management and strategizing at the same time. Vice versa. Then me and Myron would go back and talk to the brokers, or we would talk to the property management, and Marcel was at the front talking to the seller. So we were all doing strategic things to make sure that we were strategizing and asking questions. Can we do this? Can we do that? And what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And so we were doing that all along the way. Well, we started looking at more and more of his properties, and every single which way we looked at, guys, we knew this was the one. Like, we were just like so amazed at everything. Well, anyway, long story short, we took all that information and we were like, okay, cool. The seller was like, I've got more properties. Do you guys want to follow me around town and see these properties? And we were like, yeah, let's go. And
Hell yeah.
He was taking us around town, showing us everything else that not everything, but, you know, some of the more like apartment units that he owns. And he started taking us around and he was showing us, here's 4, here's 10, here's 12, here's 24, here's 13, you know, a bunch of odd different little properties, but the opportunities were there for these as well. It was amazing. Like, he was like, anyway, after we got all that said and done, we met the property management company at their office shortly after. And we sat down with them and we had a meeting and we were asking them, okay, here's what we're looking at. Here's what we got. And they were giving us their little plan as well, their plan of action. Here's what we can do. Here's what we can't do. Here's this and that. And so we formulated a sort of plan right then and there to say, okay, what is it that we need? And we ended up leaving that meeting feeling so much more confident because they were able to tell us, you can do this, you can do that. And based on what we saw, the maintenance guy, he was like, I think your CapEx is a little over and we could probably get away with a lot less. And we're like, that's amazing.
Fantastic.
Like, amazing. Great news to hear. And then they were also saying that the market cap rate matches what we're seeing and what we're underwriting at and things like that. So the opportunities, man, amazing. I left there, and Myron and Marcel, we left confident. We left very confident that we are going to proceed going forward with this deal. And so, long story short, all that for us to see in person was a game changer, super game changer. Because now we're like, man, when do we sign the contract? Because we're ready to go. Like, these are 40 more units that we're adding to basically our team. And all that is seller finance. And every which one person that I tell the deal to, every single person that I tell them the terms, the occupancy rate, everything, they laugh because it's so good to be true, or they like slobber all over it and be like, do you need to buy it? Right? Do you need to buy
they
it?
want to buy it.
Yeah. Are you wholesaling this? And we're like, no. And one of the person I was talking to yesterday on the car ride home, they asked me that question. It's like, are you wholesaling this? And I chuckled and I smiled and I said, no, we're going to tackle this one ourselves. And he went through the phone and he said, I could hear you smiling right now because I know that's a good deal.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
That's so
guys,
exciting.
It really is exciting. I mean, everyone is wanting to know more about our deal because it's so freaking amazing. It's so amazing, guys. Every person, Myron was there. He was listening to the conversation I had. Every person that I talked to this deal about, they're just so amazed with the seller finance term. And then they ask us questions like, what else do you have? It's like, oh, we just closed on a 30 unit in Corpus Christi. I tell them those terms, and they're even like even more surprised, right?
Yeah.
They're like, dang, like, how do you guys do it? And I was like, well, that's the power of creative finance. We understand seller finance. We understand what it's like to structure a deal. Like, you tell a seller finance, Myron made it a point to tell me I'm buying my socks. Like, let's go.
We got to get a made.
Seller, where's the camera? Seller finance.
We all need team wear saying seller finance. I'm down. We show up to walk through seller finance. make them subconsciously think about it.
Myron, tell me your side, bro. I want to hear what you were thinking and your experience.
I'm thinking everything you're thinking. Plus, I want to say a couple things. Like, on the back side of one of the buildings, I was doing my normal, like, I videotape everything. I take pictures of everything, just like I do. Here's what I missed. Here's where I think I stumbled in two ways. I didn't take photos for like a pitch deck. And I was like, man, from now on, when we go to properties, you go to tour a property, whether we're going to go under contract or not, take that picture. Take that picture that you want to show to other investors or a partner. Don't just do like a single family walkthrough wholesale picture. That's kind of what I did. Right. And I was around the backside of one of these buildings, and it was an odd thing. There was like, what soffit is, y'all? You know where your gutters are in your house, and there's like this ribbed
screening.
It's kind of like, it almost looks like siding, but they had covered the building in this soffit type stuff. It's like siding, but weaker, right? And I'm like, why are they doing this? I'm gonna go around the backside of this building. And I was around the backside before anybody else. And I was like, just like staring at the building. I was holding my phone. I was like doing this. And I went like, not a fart, but my shoe went in mud like this deep, like all the way up to my seller finance socks, man.
I love this.
I was like, oh crap. And I came out of it and my shoe got stuck in the mud. And I'm like hopping around. I'm getting my shoe back on. And the guy was like, hey, the property manager, her maintenance guy, he's like, I saw you do that. He said there was a water leak back here. I'm like, I did not see that. I didn't see that until I felt it.
Guys,
So
yeah.
yes, when we left, I went and got some new shoes because he goes, I did smell a little bit of a sewer smell. I'm like, I didn't smell that. But so it's not all like daisies and roses. It's like there's stuff going on so we're going to go back to the seller and say, hey, before this thing changes hands, this has to get fixed. This and that, we saw a broken window, maybe 2 broken windows that we're going to ask to get fixed. Things like that. Like, give us a good runnable property, right? I know the terms are good, but fix the water leak, man, or whatever's going on.
Or at least credit us for it.
Yeah,
Take it off the down payment.
Nobody told Myron there was quicksand back there, so poor Myron, he was sinking in there.
Quick crap.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we got some new shoes though. It's all good.
Yeah, there are a couple issues, and it's like I think what Oscar is saying is this is nothing we cannot handle.
Yeah,
and I loved it. What I loved so much was that we were talking to the seller, and we would tell him the terms, and we leaned him hard our way. We did, and what he did was he came back and said, y'all are leaning pretty hard your way. You gotta lean back my way some. And let's go back to the drawing board, and let's give you like 3 more options on how to get this thing done where we're both winning. And I was like, when would that ever happen with a single family home?
Yeah, he actually gave us 4 more options. He gave us 3 in the beginning and then another 4 after we took his first 3 and made it into like super favorable for us. Called us on it, and then he came back with 4 more scenarios to choose and kind of.
But guys, I also want to add too, because when we were there with Marcel, like Marcel is a very effective communicator as well. He is on top of things. Like this guy, anybody can like this guy. I mean, he's good. He's good. Like y'all think I'm good. He's good too. Like he's real good. And so, I want to go back and shout out to Marcel because he's built some great relationships with the brokers and with the seller himself. Like the seller was, he was talking to us and wanting to just do more business with us because he likes us so much. And so like that was incredible to see in person, like all of us build a relationship with these guys. Even the brokers were wanting to do deals with us. Like they were even jealous of the deal themselves. They were jealous of our deal. They were like, man, maybe we should have bought it. And so it's important to build relationships because Marcel is key at doing it. KJ's really good at doing it. Carolyn's really good at doing it. And that's what it's all about. It's building relationships. That's what got this deal across the finish line or where we are now, right? It's because of those relationships, and that's key. Being able to have someone on your team, or you yourself, you're the one, the visionary. You need to be able to communicate very well with these people and keep that relationship going. Don't just stop at 1 or 2 calls, like keep going. So I thought that was key, but yeah, I just wanted to add that. Shout out to Marcel. I know he's watching.
Yeah.
Marcel's awesome.
He's so cool. I'm trying to get him up here. Yeah. What a trip. I'm like envious that we didn't get to go. But you guys had a blast.
Yeah, it was great. It was really great, actually. And then Myron and I took a little side trip here and there to get to know a little bit more Knoxville. And we drove around, and it reminded us so much like Kansas City. It reminded us a lot like Kansas. Yeah. And we were driving. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was like it's got Kansas City vibes. Even the homes look very similar. And we were driving by early in the morning. I think we were leaving Knoxville, and we're just driving by, and we see wild turkeys out of nowhere, like in someone's lawn. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like maybe we should have taken one home for Thanksgiving, a little early or something. But yeah, it was great. I mean, Knoxville itself is a nice little town. It didn't feel like a big town or big city, but it felt very, I don't know, it was just Kansas City vibes. That's what I got, right? And it was good. I don't know.
Love
That's
it.
exciting. I can't wait to drive out there now.
That's awesome. I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
What I liked,
great.
Hi, bro. Leaving Knoxville was almost like dreamy, driving through all those curvy roads, and you look out and you see we were driving away from the Smoky Mountains, but like these hills, like Kansas City hills for sure. And it was super fog, like a dreamy, freaking hilly, foggy scenery. It is beautiful. It is beautiful for real.
Yeah.
Smoky Mountains and everything.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see the next steps, because what we're going to do as a team, just for you guys who are watching, is we're going to debrief and everything that we talked about as a team. And then we're going to present our underwriting, what Joseph and Ione came up with. And then we're also putting together a sort of presentation that Carolyn and KJ and everybody who's working on this presentation. And then we're also going to do a debriefing with the management property management company. Property management company. I always get confused. Anyway, we're going to have a meeting with them too to make sure that we're all on the same page and do action steps, right? So we've got a lot of things going on prior to closing, guys, but there's a lot of work to do prior to closing. And during the due diligence or inspection period, there's a lot of work to do. And then the real work starts after that too. So that's when the real implementation of all of our strategies, business plan, all that starts right after that. So there's a lot of things happening that are, yes, we're going forward, we're doing the deal, but it's not over. It's not over yet, guys. We're still working it, and we're going to take everything that we learn, and we're going to tell you guys exactly what is like when we go through it, and we'll share everything with you guys as well. So stay tuned, because there's a lot of things going on, and I've got some exciting news to share with the news after the fact too on another deal that we're working on. So super excited to have these meetings, guys.
Hell yeah. And since I know Marcel is watching, what Ione and I need is we need confirmation of what Katie, the property management, said for their fees, and if they're going to cover payroll or not for the manager on site, or however they're going to do it, because that was a question mark for us. So we underwrote it super like conservative. Like we're doing 10% management fee and a $25,000 payroll. So I don't think that's where we're at. I think it's much less than that. But even then, the numbers still look good. Even then, we would be cash flowing $1,000 each month. So all 4 groups, not including what our financial partner is going to get to.
Love it. Get you guys some underwriters that'll underwrite your deal super conservative, and they still say, okay, it works still. Right? We stress test it. That's what we're doing. We're stress testing the deal, right? They're underwriting it super conservatively, but let's say the property management comes back with their rates and it's even better, then that's just an added bonus on top, right? We don't want to underwrite this deal thinking that, on assumptions. We want actuals. And that's what they're doing. They're taking actuals, and they're taking worst case, conservative, whatever middle that might be, medium, and then like best case, right? But we're always going to go based on actuals, and that's what they're doing. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. I mean, I didn't have to go, but I feel like I was there. So like, it was awesome, man. I'm so excited. So excited.
Absolutely. Cool. What else we got, guys?
Oh man.
I don't know, man. I mean, that was like the grand finale right there.
It was the grand finale. I think we covered it all. We just have our broker interview at 12 p.m. in like 45 minutes from now.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have that, and then we have meetings throughout the day. For some reason, I have a meeting in my calendar. It says meeting with the team in 2 hours. Y'all know what that's for?
I saw that too. I was confused. No context, babe. No context.
Who made it?
He made it.
Oh.
I made it. Yeah, I don't know why I put it in there.
He always gets mad at me saying, like, you always leave important details out.
She does, though, man. She does.
Yeah.
Me and Myron are the same. Carolyn and Joseph are always like, context.
They'll be like, they'll have a whole conversation in their head, right? And then midway through that conversation, they blurt out whatever it is they're thinking or whatever question they have. But we weren't having that conversation at all in their head, right? So we missed the whole
exactly. That's exactly how it is. And I'm like, Wait, I have to like piece together. I've gotten so good at piecing together what he's talking about, but
I don't even bother anymore.
I still like let him know that I don't know.
That's funny.
I'm just like, what are you talking about? Context.
And then Oscar, we got the 86 units.
I know. I'm super excited. I just was talking to Myron on the way home. We got a bit of inspiration listening to a Clubhouse on the way home. So for those of you who want context, right? So we were listening to a podcast where Pace Morby was on the podcast on this Clubhouse that he was invited to. It's a group of realtors, and it's part of the 10X Elena Cardone's group. A bunch of realtors and brokers were on this call. And so Pace was invited in there to talk about creative finance because, as you all know, oh shoot, I almost fell over. Because as you guys know, my chair had a defect just now, guys. I almost passed out over here.
Not good.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. As you guys know, the market's been shifting, right? And so I don't know if you guys have been keeping up, but interest rates are bound to go up again, and they're not in favor to any of the sellers. So the market is shifting, and now that's what you're seeing. A bunch of properties on the market last a lot longer. The inventory is catching up, and so they brought in Pace because a lot of these agents or realtors are having listings, but they're not moving. They're not moving at all. And so Pace was talking about creative finance and what the power of creative finance can be. And so he was on there explaining the power of creative finance, and you can hear every single time that he said something that we are all here. Everybody here knows exactly what he's talking about. But imagine you're a realtor and you're like, oh wow, like you can do that. Like you could hear it in the room. Everybody got so quiet trying to process it, and it's like it was like Pace could drop the mic because that's how freaking good and valuable the information that he shared to these people. It was the inspiration that Myron and I also needed to hear, because now more than ever, these sellers are wanting to sell on seller finance because the interest rates are just too high. It doesn't make any sense. So going back to some of our deals, I'm sure that one of those deals that we were looking at least 2 or 3 of them, are going to be on the market for a little bit longer because we're in dreamland right now. So we needed to hear that, and that was amazing. So we're super excited, and we can't wait to do a lot more of the creative finance stuff. But anyway, we got someone in the room that we want to bring.
We got a surprise guest. Look at this.
Look at
Bam.
Oh my gosh, Marcel.
What's up, Marcel? How are you?
Man, you guys have such a great setup. Amazing.
Love it, man. I appreciate you hopping on here. Guys, for those of you who don't know Marcel, this is one of our partners. He's also part of Sub 2. He's part of our mentorship as well with Carlos and the Multifamily. And he's an excellent freaking structured person all well around. I mean, this guy, working with him, you'll see that like he brings the best out of people. Everyone likes him. He's an effective communicator, and himself, he's just an amazing person to be around, guys. If you ever struggle with anything as far as mindset or anything, reach out to this guy. He will set you straight. He is an amazing guy, man. So Marcel, I appreciate you being here, man. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Maybe like 30 minutes, 30 seconds, a minute, introduction.
I feel like I should just sign off now and leave it at that. Hey, thanks for bringing me on. Yeah, I'm currently located down here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, so about an hour away from Knoxville. I did live in Knoxville before, so I knew the area a bit, and just had a blast with Myron and Oscar there. When was it? 2 days ago. We did miss Joseph, so he's gonna have to make up for it, and I'm sure he will, right?
No, I definitely will. Definitely will.
Kidding. No, we had a great time. I mean, yeah, I'm in the mentorship with Carlos, with everybody in the room, and what you say in regards to seller finance is just so true. And Carlos, and I mentioned that more and more within the broker calls, is the market is killing your deal, right? And it's so easy because all of a sudden you can blame somebody else. You don't have to come up and explain yourself why you want to do seller finance and why it's in their interest. It's like a legitimate reason right now, right? And that just on this deal showcases. I mean, this deal has been on the market for 8 months now. 8 freaking months. And there have been people that walked the deal and everything, and nobody could kind of, push through because of that, right? And when I touched base with the broker the first time, I said, man, this is a seller finance deal. And the broker itself, actually, the lead broker, Matt, you guys know Matt, right? He actually is not into multifamily. He's actually mainly doing residential stuff. And he just got the listing. So John and the other guys that are working with him, they do multifamily, but he does residential. So obviously he doesn't have, that acumen from day one, right? And I've been helping him a little bit as well. And that's just, we built a great relationship, man. And I'm so excited for the deal. I'm so excited that you guys are part of it. And I'm even more excited to share this with others, to see what is out there and what the opportunities are for other people to find these deals as well and make them work. Amazing.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you saying that, because a lot of people out there, they're still looking at deals that are on market, but they don't understand how powerful, or they don't understand when they're underwriting what an interest rate can do if you change it 1 or 2% or maybe even 3%, right? It literally can make or break the deal. And when you're underwriting a deal, you want to stress test and you want to get definite answers and debt quotes from your lender. So having those relationships will definitely impact your deep dive underwriting. But when you're going to seller finance and you're doing a really well structured deal with great terms, that in itself is another ball game. Like if you understand seller finance and you understand how you can like make it work for both parties to both win, it's a game changer, man. So for example, I know you mentioned that this particular deal had been sitting on the market for 8 months. Guys, 8 months, and that's before the interest rates were, crazy and all whatnot. But what Marcel did that nobody else could do was truly understand seller finance. And that was the game changer. Why didn't anybody else close on this deal? They had several people walking it. Why didn't anybody else understand seller finance? And they might have, but the thing that they didn't understand either is that this is a relationship, a people business. And so that's what Marcel excelled at, both of those things, seller finance and how to build relationships. And doing so, the brokers were like, you know what? Just set up a call with the seller, myself, and everybody. I'll introduce you to the seller and you guys can talk to them. And the seller, and this is another thing, and I want Marcel and Myron to touch up on this. Sellers in multifamily understand seller finance. They understand creative finance. And so if you go to a single family home, this is what Pace touched on last night as well. If you do this to a single family seller, like just owns a house, you have to educate them. You have to make sure that it comes across where they understand it and articulate it. But these guys, they understand it. So going off the jump, like you can just tell them seller finance, they'll know what you're talking about. So Marcel, can you talk a little bit about seller finance and how that helped you get this thing across the finish line, and how you talk to your investor, to your future sellers and brokers about seller finance and how they just get it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one thing that you have to remember in multifamily, it's a business, right? You're not buying a structure, essentially. I mean, you are, but you're buying a business, right? And the valuation is based on the numbers. And when you go out there, really, when you buy a business out there, majority of times people buy businesses today is based on seller finance too, and there isn't these big cash transactions, that are the majority taking place. And multifamily is the same. You buy a business, right? And the people understand that. And for them, I think what did Mike said? Mike said something about that he has some loans where the interest rates are increasing on other properties or business. Actually, it was right. And he said he just needs to get that much out of this, get down payments so that he can finance whatever he's going on the back end, right? So there's always a bigger story to it. What the seller want to do is always the question. What do they want to achieve? Do they just want to get the highest price? Do they need cash? Do they need to roll it into a different investment? I mean, I know that he was pretty fixed on his price, right? He was asking 3.1 million. And I think we landed on 2.9 now, or maybe 2.8, depending on which direction we're going there.
Mm.
But honestly, man, when we underwrote this deal and with banking, I mean, we got to like what, 2.4, 2.5, something like that.
It was low. I think it might have been the 2.2.
Exactly. So, and I told Matt that, and Matt didn't know, in detail, but that was fine. So I could educate him, right? And I said, man, we can do it. We can meet it, but you got to help us. Let's do this together, right? And I told him also, and maybe years ago it would have been a deal like that under that interest rate, under better interest rate, or a year and a half ago. But now it's not. It's killing it. It's killing the deal. Let me help you. And then obviously everybody is looking always at these Nashville deals, or hey, I want to be in downtown Nashville, Class A, 100 unit, $2,500 rent. Man, everybody's looking at these, everybody knows their deal, but people go in there at a cap of what, like, I think they're at 3% at this point, right? And you have to come in with big 50% down, 45% institutional money at this point you're competing. But when you try to look in areas, that are pocketed away than that, you might have to do a little bit more research. You might need to build some more relationships, key relationships, right? There's so much opportunity still. I mean, this deal set for 8 months because of the price and because of its location. The location is not terrible. It's actually amazing, because when you understand the market, these tenants in there, they were excited to be there. Now, none of us would love to live there, sure, but the people that live there in that area, for them, that's the only opportunity of housing, really. And it's a good one compared to other opportunities that are maybe a little further away. Everyone is pushing out of the city in Knoxville because it gets overcrowded. There isn't enough housing. So it's not just creative financing, it's also creative thinking, of the deal and the locations itself. And that's why I think this is a great deal. And hey, guys, we're going to be more like that.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, I don't know if you caught that or not, but it's the opportunity that is out there for everyone. You just have to be able to find it, right? Find it and build the relationships. That's basically what Marcel did. Is he found the opportunity that no one else could solve, but he built that relationship and then figured out a way. And then Myron, I know you were there too. I mean, we've talked about this before, but talking to a single family seller versus talking to a multifamily seller, and the difference between them being an investor and just knowing seller finance, man. Tell everybody what it's like talking to someone who's a homeowner to an actual apartment seller when it comes to creative finance.
Here's what I want to say. The guy selling these 40 units, here's how he gets it. We went to look at one of his properties, and I asked him a question. I go, what about this land back here? Do you own that land? He's like, nah, but I can probably sell it to you. I'm like, well, who owns it? Oh, my buddy. He did some siding work and some window work for me, so I just gave him that piece of land. And I was like thinking about that conversation, like, hey, you do the siding and window, I'll give you this piece of land. Like that's not normal, y'all. and for they just get it because they've bought things on seller finance. Multifamily, they bought things on seller finance. They've already sold on seller finance. They know interest only payments. They've been running, like everything Marcel said, they've been running a business and they understand things creatively. Talking to single family sellers or realtors, even multifamily brokers, sometimes they just don't understand. You have to educate them as well. But even, I guess, talking to single family in any which way, seller finance is going to get more commonplace. We're going to see it. I think that this little group right here, we're going to be paving that way. And not that that's not our big push, but we want to do some of those deals. And it's a very hard conversation. Look, I don't get it. Like, do I have deed or, I have a mortgage in place? Is that, how am I going to do this? Is this legal? Something we heard last night was watch out for seller finance. They're trying to abolish it. What? That's not, it's not anything there's nothing, you can seller finance anything. We were talking about Oscar's bike. He wants to do something with his motorcycle, and we're just thinking of a creative way to do that. Y'all could sell it. You could sell somebody your tent in your garage on seller finance. like it's however you want to do this. And I don't know if I'm answering the question like you want me to, Oscar. I'm probably going way off, but
No, you're good, man. You drove the point home, right? You
okay,
can
cool.
basically you can seller finance anything, right? Yeah. And so
it's about gaining what you want.
yeah,
You know?
absolutely. And so before we head off, because I know we have another Zoom in like 30 minutes, Marcel, everything that you heard from the property management company or whatever we strategized and everything, right? What is it that you're going to take from that, and how much comfortable did it make you feel whenever you heard all the strategy and everything that was going on?
Boy, it's structure. You know, I mean, you know, how many times did I say it yesterday again to different people, right? It's a German gene inside of me that I can't turn off. You know, it's structured. But I tell you also one thing: I'm the one that loves to give the vision for the structure. I'm not the guy that likes to implement the structure. You know, I like to tell. I'm just not the guy that likes to do the little weeds processes and stuff. I love processes. I just don't like to do them. You know, and what we told property management in the end, I think how we left, summarizing it, and I know we have a meeting with them, by the way, in 90 minutes, is
That's what that meeting is.
to create a business plan from day one of closing, and not closing, from day one of signing PSA, signing the contract, to closing, in terms of what are the requirements, what do they need, what do they want to see, and just identifying each single individual tenant in those buildings, and having a plan for what they want to do, right? Analyze the whole thing so that the information is already available, that then on day one, after closing, we can kick off immediately with the strategy for year one. So what we asked them to do is create a plan for PSA signing to closing to get everything you need, and then implement that information for the plan for year one immediately starting day one. And I think this is what we're going to be finalizing here in 90 minutes. And guys, at that point, I would say this weekend, man, we shoot over the contract, guys.
Ooh, that's exciting. We need some fires in the chat.
I love
Marcel,
it.
I need that app that you use on your Zoom to play the little siren. Wah, wah, wah. He'll do it.
He's gonna do it.
Can you hear it?
No.
No,
It's because it's on my phone and I'm on the phone right now. So
that's all good. Just
Dang
text me the name of it and I'll have it for next time.
sounds good.
it. I love that.
Or I'll bring out the kalimba again.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Guys,
Hey, 90 minutes, okay? My lunch break is about over here, the 9 to 5 again. I see you in 90 minutes. All right,
Okay.
awesome. Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Thank you so much,
Marcel.
man.
let's
And
go.
for all you other 9 to 5ers out there, this guy Marcel and his team, they have a underwriting Zoom on Sundays. So if you're not already following him, go check him out. Marcel,
Yeah.
what is your Instagram tag so they can go follow you?
It's Marcel the Activator. I activate you guys. I empower you.
I love
Oh.
it.
Marcel the
Love it.
Activator. Go follow him on Instagram. Check out those underwriting Zooms on Sundays for more underwriting knowledge.
Exactly, guys. Join us, and we will post it on Instagram again with the link, everything. We're shooting out reminders, so follow us, and we'll all crush it together.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, Marcel. Thank you so much, man. See you soon.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I think we're going to call it here and get ready for our next Zoom so that we'll be ready for it. Guys, anything else I missed before we jump off?
Nope. I think that's it.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Sweet.
thanks, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
y'all.
everyone. Join us on our Zoom here shortly. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.